This is the Fantasy Roadshow. This is the Fantasy Roadshow.
Welcome in to another episode of the Fantasy Roadshow. We are your hosts. You can call me Truck. I'm joined as always by Shane O'Mac and Kulz over there. You can find us on Twitter at fantasy_trucker, at smccormick_ff, at Kulz_sports. While you're at it, follow the show at Fantasy Roadshow. Do yourself a favor. Check us out on Twitter. Ask us questions throughout the week. You got questions, we got answers. Hit us up anytime. This episode is brought to you by Rule 1 Proteins. Go to www.rule1proteins.com. Enter promo code ROADIES40 at checkout for 40% off. That's ROADIES40, 40% off. Boys, we are here, week 13. Fantasy playoffs are right around the corner. We got some serious red light, green light to talk about today. How you doing, Shane?
Doing well. We got 6 teams on a bye this week.
Ooh. What are the 6 teams? Do you know off the top of your head? I know Bears and Vikings.
Bills.
Ravens.
Who are the other two?
Yeah, you said Bears.
Who else?
Who am I missing?
We should know this, but I'm asking
Giants?
Genuinely.
Giants?
Yeah. And
Jets?
Jets?
Raiders? Giants and Raiders.
Giants and Raiders. Okay, cool.
Giants
all right,
and
so we got those 6. We got through it. So a lot of big fantasy players are out this week. You guys need answers for who you're going to start, who we like this week, who we don't like this week. So we're going to get on to that. Let's talk about some news. Aaron Rodgers activated the 21-day practice window, which is absolutely insane. Looks like he's going to be practicing soon, but something to keep an eye out for. Any other news that you guys saw come through the through the wavelengths?
Well, Jonathan Taylor, obviously, with his
of course.
Yeah. Out multiple
Zach Moss,
weeks.
welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that. I am definitely excited for that. Cole's got anything?
No, but shout out to B Cork. I was doing some thinking about my mustache, and I think it's a little too long this way. So I see a lot of people that have shorter mustaches, and it looks a little normal. This is like pretty big.
Yeah, you got some hang time on that.
What do you think, Shane O'Mac? Should I try to trim it? Like,
I know. I think it's more unique that way. I think you keep it. If you're keeping it, I think you keep it that way.
Really, you don't think I take a little of the length off?
No. You're the trend setter. You don't follow the trend. You set.
I know. But like, I didn't know if it was completely ridiculous or not.
Well, it is completely ridiculous, but it suits you. It fits.
That's the beauty of it. Yes.
Is it ridiculous? At least decent, like in a good way.
Yes, it's ridiculous in a good way.
Okay.
Perfect way to put it. So, but yes, we are live here, or we're not live, but you can find us at youtube.com/sportsethos. That is where the video lives for all of you podcast listeners out there. All right. Well, we got anything else going on? You guys want to jump right into it?
Yeah. Shout out to Rule 1 Proteins. Been nice. Today was a big day in my workout journey. I squatted 315, 3 plates for the first time. For the first time ever. First time.
There you go.
So Rule 1 paying off, baby. Go get your subs.
Yeah. Absolutely. They got some delicious stuff going on over there. I can't wait to
I got their essential amino, so had a good workout, and now this is what I told you I drink for recovery and hydration. So it's clearly working. But yeah, anyways, that was noteworthy. It was very exciting when it happened. I haven't smiled and had it felt very good.
Okay, nice. I am currently 2 days strong in the gym, 2 days in a row. I'm going back today for my 3rd day in a row. Nice. So getting after it over here.
That's outstanding.
It's easy when I'm in a hotel and I have literally nothing else to do. So Got the chin
Over
right
half the battle is getting back into routine.
Yes, absolutely.
Literally.
So I'm starting off hot this week. A couple days in a row, I'm feeling good. So
That could be an off-season thing. Once we get done with the season, and we're going to do the power rankings of the protein flavors, we're going to maybe with our partnership with Rule One, we'll get some fit roadies going. We can get B Cork, figure out what B Cork's what his fitness routine currently is. Just elevate things a little bit. It's off season. We're not in the lab, finding winners as much anymore. Let's get healthy and ready. Get the brain waves firing for the next season. Right.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
All right. Well, without further ado, you guys ready?
Yeah. Another thing that happened. So we have it's really a strange thing about Austin. There's co-ed steam room sauna, which I think is strange. I've never had that before, but
awesome.
in the sauna today, met a lady, really cool story. I actually need to look it up, but she was an 8-time world champion boxer, African-American woman. And she was 30 years ago, she was homeless. Or not God. 30, a little longer than 30 years ago. She was homeless, eight-time world champion boxer. She's the only woman that has ever trained a male champion. She got inducted to the Boxing Hall of Fame with Floyd Mayweather, and she also is Artemis in Wonder Woman. She trained Wonder Woman, and she also trains the guy that plays Mike Tyson in the Hulu TV series.
Oh, nice.
Who I guess was an ex track and field runner for University of Texas. But anyways, met her in the sauna earlier today, and that was a pretty cool thing. Just hearing her stories and her journeys. And I mean, she helps underprivileged, trains underprivileged kids now, and it's just a pretty cool story.
Yeah, sounds remarkable. So
that's good. Did you tell her to use that Roadies discount for her clients?
I need to. I need to.
Should have plugged it. What are you doing?
I need to. I always think about that, like just getting like a little thing printed that I can just tack up on the cork board at the gym.
Yeah.
But we'll get ideas going.
All right. Well, sounds good. Glad that you had that encounter, but let's hop right into it. Week 13, red light, green light. We're starting quarterbacks, red light quarterbacks. Guys, we do not like this week. Shane, why don't you go ahead and kick it off for us? You not like this week?
So the first guy I'm going with is a guy who's been top 10 last 2 weeks in a row, but it's Jordan Love. He's at home, but I do not like him in this matchup against this Chiefs defense that, they only give up 176 yards passing a game. I think they give up like the 4th or 5th fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks. I just think this is a letdown game for him. The Chiefs we've talked about this numerous times. This is just, we've got to start treating the Chiefs as one of those defense that really matters in matchups.
Yeah, absolutely. I have Jordan Love on my list as well. And it's hard because he's been hot lately. Last couple of weeks, he's been looking like a really good quarterback. But you're right, Kansas City's really good. Last week, they did have kind of a bad game defensively. AOC, Aiden O'Connell, put up almost 250 yards, but he was still the quarterback 17. So you're right, Kansas City's defense is really, really good. Prior to AOC, they held Jalen Hurts to under 150 yards, Tua to under 200 yards and a touchdown. Like they've been really good. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't like Jordan Love this week. Kulz, do you agree? Do we have our first unanimous?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, what do you got, Kulz?
I got Matt Stafford. Browns matchup. I think we're going to see what happens with Myles Garrett's shoulder. That's definitely a concern, but he's an absolute beast. He's going to play through it regardless. But I just still think that defense is good. 7-4 at Rams. It just seems like a good spot for, as Truck likes to say, a little bounce back spot there for the Browns against, this is a very beatable team coming off a good win, but low scoring game. And typically that would favor the Browns in that game. Rams want to get out there and score some points. I don't know they're going to be able to do that. So can the defense hold up in a close game? I don't know. I think the Browns win this game, and it's the defense. It's the defense that does it.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Seems like if the Rams are going to score points, it's going to be with good old Kyron, you know?
Yeah.
Even then, like, it's just a tough team to run on too, you know?
Yep.
So I don't know. Bad matchup for the Rams. That we've been talking it on almost every episode. Like, Browns defense is one of those teams that you got to take a deep look at all these fantasy players going against them. So yeah, that's mine.
Absolutely. All right, Shane, what else you got? Who's your second guy of the week?
So another guy who's got consecutive top 10 quarterback finishes, and it's Kyler Murray going against the Steelers. I just think the Pittsburgh plays different when they're at home. When I was looking up, they've held their opponents to an average of like 14 points a game at home. I don't see that Arizona team scoring more than that. So I think you max get one touchdown, either a rushing or a passing one from Murray this week, and it's a very low scoring game for him and that team.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. The only thing that I have pushback on is Pittsburgh's allowing the 9th most passing yards per game. So they are in bottom 10 for allowing passing yards. So Kyler although doesn't really do it much in the air, he gets it all done on the ground, rushing touchdown in each of the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I also have Kyler, and the punchback I'll say to you, Ryan, is the difference between their defense giving up passing yardage has completely shifted from when Porter has shadowed. Again, this is one of those stats I read that I didn't bring with me, but after like week, I don't know, 4 or 6, somewhere in that range, Porter started shadowing the best receiver, and their defense has completely changed. He's given up whatever, it's a significant amount less yardage through the air. So that shift in the defense has made a huge impact. And like you just mentioned, like that's not his strong suit. Like I've always actually said that about Kyler is like, he doesn't have a 15 and out ball. And that's basically what that's my like barometer for is this guy an NFL quarterback with his arm? Can you throw a 15 and out? That's takes a lot of strength, a tough throw to make. Kyler's one of those guys that like, I don't think he really has that, right? So I don't know. I agree with Shane. I have Kyler. This is a tough matchup. He's not going to have a lot of time to throw either. And, you know, he's quick and can get out of the pocket and make plays happen that way. But like you said, a lot of times that's with his feet. I don't know. I don't like the matchup. Ryan hates the Steelers, so that's where all of his negativity towards this pick is coming from.
Yeah, no,
I think don't you have a therapy session soon to talk about Steelers and
we'll talk about that later.
DeAndre Swift.
We'll talk about that later. Okay,
yeah, okay.
We'll talk about that later.
When you have Swift as your red light running back?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Okay. My other quarterback that I don't like this week is Jared Goff. He's currently ranked as the top quarterback 12 this week. And he's got 6 turnovers in the last 2 games. Mm-hmm. It's at the Saints. Tough barn to play in the Superdome. He's finished outside the top 10 in 4 out of the last 5 games. And the Saints are allowing the 8th fewest fantasy points per game to quarterbacks and the 7th fewest passing yards. So I do not like Jared Goff this week, coming off 2 bad games. I don't think he bounces back this week.
I think that when we get Fantasy Roadshow trucker hats made, we're going to have PPR standard on one for you, but also tough barn to play in. I love when you say that. I love when you refer to it as a barn. I think it's hilarious. I like it. I like that pick. I think it's going to be a weird game. I think Saints are just not good. Are we going to? Yeah. So it's a bounce back spot for the Lions. Get right game. Ryan likes saying that as well. Does not set up well for the Saints. They would have felt a lot better going into this matchup with, Lions off a couple big divisional wins. Not as hungry of a team that needs to make a statement. This is not going to be a good game for the Saints, who's letting this season slip away. 2-2 at home, Superdome. That's usually where maybe they'll have 2 losses all season.
Yeah. But they're also without the Saints are without Michael Thomas. They're without Rashid Shaheed, and they're likely without Chris Olave.
So it's going to be Kamara. I didn't realize Olave as well. Now is that concussion?
Yeah. Oh yeah, concussion protocol.
It's unlikely he plays.
We talked about that. How Moore said he has a 33% chance of playing. It's tough. I agree. I feel less confident about picking up Carr and starting him because I have Josh Allen.
Oh, Kulz, I think you misunderstood. I am not red lighting Derek Carr, although he is a red light. I'm red lighting Goff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did hear that wrong.
Yeah. Okay. It's okay. I just the Saints defense is still really good, although I do like Detroit to win the game. I just
Lattimore's been out though, hasn't he? Is he back?
He's on the IR.
Yeah.
So that's a concern for me, for sure. I think this is going to be a Lions domination game. You could be right by saying like that. A lot of that comes through the ground. However, in order for them to win this game convincingly, I think Goff is going to have to probably bounce back. So I think I would probably disagree. But
just to get a gauge, would you start Goff or Love?
I would start Goff. Oh, Ryan. Never mind. Sorry.
Are you asking me or Kulz?
Yeah, you since you got them both on.
Yeah, since I got them both on the red light list, I would probably go with Goff since I think they're the better team.
Yeah.
And it's the Chiefs. To me, the Chiefs defense is better than the Saints, so I would go with the better team and the better matchup in comparison.
Yeah. Okay.
But I still don't. I don't think they win convincingly. I think Goff is a tough time.
This is our first disagreement. I have Goff on my green list.
Ooh,
okay, talk to me.
I just said it. I think it's they Lions have to, like, this is a game where they have to punch back. Saints are a soft team. Lattimore's out. I didn't know he was on IR. How long has it been? I thought it's been a couple of weeks, right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So he's still out for another 2 weeks. Saints are out kind of in like desperation win mode as well. However, this game I think opened at a field goal and it's already 4. So sharp money's going on the Lions. They like them to bounce back more so than the Saints, which I just think they're a better team. So I agree with that sentiment.
Yep.
All right, Shane, what do you got?
Those are my two. I've got Murray and Love.
Oh, okay. Kulz, did you have any other red lights before you jumped into the
Stafford, Kyler? I'm good, and then I had Goff at green light. So you guys fire off some green light quarterbacks.
All right, cool. Well, my first green light quarterback, someone ranked inside the top 10, but I think they have a massive week this week, Brock Purdy. I talk about him a lot over the last couple of weeks, but Philly is allowing a lot of passing yards per game. Josh Allen just went nuclear on that defense as of recently, but I think Brock Purdy has had this game scheduled. Well, the entire 49ers have had this game circled since they lost the NFC Championship last year. And Purdy has a statement to make in this game because he felt like he would have won that game last year. So I like Brock Purdy this week against Philly. The game of the week, in my opinion, that 49ers-Eagles game is going to be insane.
Just got flexed to prime time.
Hell yes.
I'm kidding.
Oh, come on, dude. Don't do that to me. I would have been so pumped for that. But unfortunately, yeah, you're right. That should be prime time.
Let's make it a trifecta. Come on. Is
what?
it? Do you got Purdy? Do you got
No.
Purdy also? Oh,
No. Green light Purdy? No, I don't.
Shane, you're in agreement, though? You like Purdy this week?
Yeah, it's a smash spot for him. I
Yeah.
mean, before last week when he didn't need to do anything against the Seahawks. I mean, he had back-to-back 3-touchdown games. That is how you attack and beat the Eagles, is through the air. Obviously McCaffrey's going to get his, but that's how you can beat them. They are not good on the back end.
Yeah.
I want to be as least invested in this game as possible. Because I just want to watch it. Like, I don't know how I don't know how you could go against Hurts at home as a field goal dog. So do I think they're going to win the game? I think it's a bad spot for the Eagles. They're due for a loss. So I do think that the Niners win and probably cover that, to be honest. But like, Hurts has lost 2 games in Philly his entire career. You're getting You're getting a field goal. Like I
know.
wouldn't be able to get myself to say, yes, I think the Niners win by more than a field goal. I just can't do that. But I'm going to try to stay away from this game as much as possible, from red greens, I obviously have guys and I'm starting them regardless. Most of those players on these two teams, you start regardless.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're locked and loaded.
That's just the type of offenses they are. But I want to sit back and enjoy and just, really just enjoy this football game. You saw it last week with the Eagles, Bills. That was the best game. Have you guys seen a better game this year of football, pro or college?
No.
That was great.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm expecting from this game. But I agree with Ryan. This game is scheduled. This game has been circled. They're healthy and looking incredible, and they have some. This is a big win for them for getting that number 1 seed. If the Eagles win this game, one seed goes to the Eagles. That's done. But they're a championship team. They understand that as well. So we'll see. It's going to be a heavyweight bout. It's going to be outstanding. But no, I am not going to green light Purdy. I just want to be hands off.
Okay, understandable.
Started in one league though. How about that? How the tides have turned. I go from saying he's not going to be the starting quarterback to he's not going to be the starting quarterback all year to he's on one of my fantasy teams.
Funny how the turntables. All right, Kulz, what else you got for green lights?
Turntables. Dak is too easy for me to say, but I have to say Dak because at this point he's done nothing but great things since I've traded for him. So I just have to say Dak. That's like me not choosing tight ends. I feel like I am required to put Dak on my green light quarterback list until it's like a superstition thing. And I think Shane is more than happy to see me do it because that means his Cowboys are winning football games.
Yeah, you just I love Dak.
Yeah, I love Dak. I love Dak more than I love Lamp.
Love Dak.
Fair enough. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have a guy very similar in that range. It's Tua. I mean, he's the quarterback 3 ranking going into this week, going against Washington. It's a smash play. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's very obvious of a play for Tua going against the Washington team. But one guy I do want to talk about is on the other side of the ball. It's Sam Howell. Sam Howell, huh?
Sammy
Howell. He is on my green light list, and he is ranked as the quarterback 9, just inside the top 10 for this week going against Miami. And he's the quarterback 6 on the season. He has 5 games in a row. He's been a top 10 quarterback the last 5 games straight. He put up 300 yards against the Dallas Cowboys last week, and they're averaging the second fewest yards per game. And he was able to do that. So the Dolphins are allowing the 5th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. I think Sam Howell doesn't win the game, but he just does what he does every week, and that's a top 10 quarterback. So, lock him in as a top 10 guy for me.
I love that.
I've got Hal also. So
Shane.
Yeah, he was my green light guy. I mean, anytime you're going to get 45, 50 pass attempts, which I could see him over 50 this week.
Easily.
You're going to have a great day. He didn't throw for a touchdown last week against Dallas, but he was still QB 10. Sam Howell will be a higher ranked or finishing quarterback this week than Justin Herbert. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
I'm just going to go ahead.
Boom shakalaka!
I love this. I love them sticking with the Dolphins as well. I think at home it's going to be a little bit closer game than the spread suggests. It's 9.5 right now. If that gets up to 10, in the Commanders are down by 17 late in the game. You can still be confident that Dolphins defense takes the brakes off a little bit, and Howell and Bieniemy just march down the field and score. I just think that that's so many points. Commanders offense is good. We've seen it have these shootouts with some of the better teams in the league. So I think I like this spot for Howell for sure. I also do want to back up my green light pick from before because I think I could have done that a lot better. Here we go. Dak. Here we go. Dak Prescott. So we can go ahead and edit that, right? No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm leaving that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are we all good on green light quarterbacks then?
For sure.
Yep.
Okay. Boom.
Here we go.
Let's jump over to red light running backs. Kulz, why don't you do us the honor? Kick it off.
I'm gonna pass it on over.
Pass it on.
Pass it on to Shane O'Mac. Okay.
I am going with the guy who is RB5 this year. So he is the 5th ranked running back this year. Shockingly enough, when I saw this, I couldn't believe it. But it's Brian Robinson.
Wow.
And this is like all about like game script for me. Like a couple things. So like Miami, they're only allowing like 50 yards of rushing a game. But look, now that Antonio Gibson's back, like the Dolphins are going to be up in the second half by double digits. That's going to tilt to more Antonio Gibson now that he's healthy and he been in the game and Robinson's going to be out. Last week when Gibson was back, like Robinson's receptions and his targets took a massive hit compared to what he was getting when Gibson was out. So this is more a Gibson week than a Robinson week, I think.
Yeah, I like that. I do.
I went like this because I wanted to just eat that L. That is probably one of my biggest swings and misses of this year was Brian Robinson.
I was in that same boat with you.
Yeah,
we were both just talking trash about.
I still
Brian
don't think he's
Robinson
good. He's RB5, and I still don't think he's good. So
yeah.
Is that some bias? Probably, but also like he's not a guy that has top 5 skill set.
No.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yep.
Like I don't know what his stats are, but I feel like he would be under like 4 yards per carry rushing. I don't think he's been that great even.
No, he has a lot of boom and bust games. You know what I mean? Like he has some very explosive games. He had a couple games very active in the passing game, but yeah, I still not jumping on that bandwagon. All right, let's see. My turn then. I will go with Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is currently ranked the RB20 for the week, taking on Jacksonville. It's in Jacksonville. He finished outside the top 20 in 2 of his last 3 games. First game with Browning was awful, just terrible. 16 yards on the ground. He was the RB36. Jacksonville is allowing the 4th fewest rushing yards per game, and I just don't think with Browning at the helm, this Bengals offense is going to be able to do much against Jacksonville, and Mixon has a game similar to last week in that 30 range.
Yeah, I think it's a bad spot. You hear me talk about spots all the time. I think this is a bad spot for the Bengals. Like, do they just know they're a dead team?
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jags are hot right now.
Yeah. Jags are hot. Jags are hot, and they like came off of a game that they won, but I don't know that they're like very excited about the way they played. So at home, in front of the entire nation, Monday Night Football, I think they come out and just dominate this game. So I love Jacksonville in this spot here, but so I love it. I agree with you.
Beautiful.
I got James Conner. I don't even know. Are people starting him right now?
No, he's top 20. He's 24, top 24 ranked running back. Yeah.
Okay, so he's
RB2.
back. He's back to being top 24. I like we talked about this game earlier. I just don't like the spot for the Cardinals. I think it's they're coming off 2 losses, got their ass kicked by the Rams and the Texans. You can say what you want about those teams. They're probably both not playoff teams. Definitely both have some bright spots in them, but You know what I'm trying to say there. So it's just Steelers at home. We talked about their defense. That's kind of what I'm pointing towards more.
Yeah.
And I just don't know, like, so you guys know more than me about Connor, I'm sure. I don't have him in any leagues. He's one of those guys that I've never really touched. I can't imagine, is he getting a full workload? Like, his workload probably is not great either yet.
He's
they're
dominating the
him
touches.
back up.
No, he's dominating the touches in the backfield, like 16 touches to 2. The next guy has like 2 to 3 carries. So he's getting all the touches, but he seems to be touchdown dependent right now, averaging like 60 yards in the last couple games.
So he had 6 carries last game. Is that game script?
Yes, some of that was game script, but they did in that game. And I had totally forgotten about this pickup. They did work in Michael Carter Jr. more into that game.
You're right. I forgot they signed him.
Yeah.
So that worries me as well. Not only is it going to be, they've got Carter for a reason. I think it's more, any way you want to look at it, I have him as a red light. There's multiple things I can point towards at this point.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I want to introduce you to the truck therapy session. Okay. We're gonna have a quick therapy session. And this continues with my hatred for DeAndre Swift. And I'm not sure where it stems from. I don't know. I really don't. But this week especially, I don't like him. He's ranked inside the top 15 going into this week. He's our RB14 and taking on San Francisco. I know, Kulz, you said you don't want to touch this game. Well, I'm willing to green light and red light players from this game. And one of them is going to be DeAndre Swift. Finished outside the top 20 in 3 of the last 5 games. In that game span, he's only had 2 touchdowns. San Francisco is a juggernaut right now on defense, allowing the 9th fewest fantasy points to running backs and the 2nd fewest rushing yards per game. This is going to be a tough matchup for DeAndre, but he's the guy's a good running back. So it's hard to red light him, but I don't like him this week.
I did say, sorry, go ahead, Shane.
I was just going to say, do you have a couch back there behind you?
I don't. No, it's just a bed. Just a bed.
I did say that I didn't want to touch this game, but I didn't say that I wouldn't touch myself to this game.
You dirty dogs.
Well, all right. So let's do a little bit of discovery in this therapy session.
Okay.
Can I ask you some questions?
Go right ahead.
All right, go, like Shane said, lay on that couch back. Okay. Have you ever drafted DeAndre Swift in the past?
Maybe once or twice in a league, but not heavily where I was burned by him at all.
You don't feel any burns? Did he get injured that season you drafted him? Was he a high draft pick, high in rounds, maybe one of the first 3 rounds?
Yeah, and Kulz, what team did he play for before the Eagles?
Was it a rival of the?
Oh, that's right, a rival of the Bears. Yeah, that's right.
So it took a little bit. For you to draft him. You're like, you know what, this is a Lion, but I think he's going to have a really good year. So maybe you had a stronger stance on DeAndre Swift one season. Maybe he got injured. So all right, I'm just taking notes here on my notebook, but. We'll get into some more, we'll dig a little deeper next session.
Yeah, the time is up.
Thank
you.
Is up
for the therapy.
Thank you for opening up to Shane O'Mac and I, and it's really brave of you to do that. Yep. So
I figured it was time. So all right, Shane, what do you got for this week? What else? Which other running backs do you not like?
So I am going with the guy that's ranked 2 spots ahead of James Conner, and that is Zach Charbonnet this week.
Ooh, I like what you did there, Shane.
So I feel like with 6 teams on a bye, there's going to be a lot of people starting him because, listen, like when you get a running back that's get double-digit touches, you're going to be starting him with 6 teams on a bye. But, man, this Cowboys defense at home is just a different beast. Like they only allow 14 points a game at home this year. They're allowing like the 5th fewest points to running backs this year. And I just don't feel like this is a game. This could be another one of those games where Dallas gets up and Seattle's abandoning the run in the second half.
Yeah. Speaking of Dallas, I saw a lot of DJ Dallas for that Seattle offense too.
Deej.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like when I was watching that game, I was expecting to just see a bunch of Charbonneau. I wanted to see a bunch of them, even against a tough matchup. But I feel like every time they were, giving it to the running back, it was DJ Dallas. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So, yeah, I can get behind that for sure.
I like it. I mean, Charbonneau, he's made you look smart. I saw your tweet about he's finally getting his opportunity and then the defenses he's going against. So he made you smart last week. He's going to continue to do so. I like that. For sure, tough matchup. So here's someone that this could be I don't know if there's going to be some conflicting thought here, but Austin Eckler, like he just doesn't look like the same Austin Eckler to me. And you see him at Patriots, you're like, oh, Patriots suck. They're a broken team. Maybe it's a, get right game for Eckler. I don't think something's going on there. He doesn't look, whether it's age or it's, miles on that car that we always talk about. I don't know what it is, but I don't like what I see from Eckler. And I think that the matchup against the Patriots could sneaky be tough for him.
I think he's also a free agent next year as well.
So, not that the Chargers would ever sabotage his amount of touches or anything late in the season, because they would never do such a thing to make sure their player doesn't go off late in the season and have a very good season and drive up his contract value for next year.
Kulz conspiracy. I like it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Almost too much.
Yeah,
sense.
you add in like how Belichick likes to take away a number one threat, which arguably is Keenan Allen, and I'm sure he'll game plan for that. But you sense a hole in the offense in Eckler, and you can fill in that hole. He's going to do it. So, I like Eckler to have a tough game.
Yeah, he just hasn't looked like himself lately.
Yeah.
Are we good on red light running backs? Is that everything?
That is.
Yes, sir.
All right, boom. Let's go on to green light running backs. One I want to mention quickly. He's ranked in the top 10. He's a smash play this week. I love him. It's Rashad White. Taking on Carolina Panthers. Great spot for Rashad White. But he is ranked inside the top 10. He's a smash play. I don't want to talk too much about him. That's an obvious pick. One I do want to talk about is ranked outside the top 20 going into this week. And that is someone who just got their spot back. It's Zach Moss. Zach Moss going against the Tennessee Titans. Last time he played the Titans, do you guys remember that game?
33 PPR points.
Yeah, only 165 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Just a smash game. His best game of the season. He gets to play them again for his game back. Titans run defense started good, but recently they're middle of the pack. So currently allowing over 100 yards on the ground per game. So I like Zach Moss this week.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's smash.
I kind of like Titans in that game though. We'll talk about that in a matchup episode, I'm sure, but I do like the Titans. Home Vrabel as a dog has fared well in the past. I don't know. I think the Titans can just kind of string together wins here late in the season. They're one of those teams we probably thought was dead, but maybe they're playing possum a little bit. Got them last week at home against a Colts team that's not great. We'll see what happens. But I like Moss. I hope he does outstanding. At the beginning of the season, I liked Moss, and I continue to like him. So,
Yep. All right, Shane, what do you got? Green light running back.
So I'm on your Rashad train. I'm on the Rashad train. I didn't even know he was a consensus top 10. I hadn't even looked at that, but that makes sense.
He's inside the top 10. He's not 10. I think he's like right around 9 or 8.
Wow, that's me. Okay. So then my second one is I am going with a duo, and I'm going with Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris to both have great games against this Arizona rush defense that just allowed the Rams 2 running backs to have double-digit PPR points.
No way, Shannon Mac. I have the exact same duo.
Let's go. Yes.
Boom, shakalaka!
I love that.
Me too. I have him as well. That was my second pick.
A duo
Jalen Warren and
trifecta.
Najee.
You had the duo?
Boom, shakalaka! A double. It's the duo. We all three had a duo. How can you not pick the duo running backs going against the Arizona Cardinals?
Gosh, I love that just happened. That's an incredible moment.
That's awesome.
That's outstanding. Yeah, we've already talked about this game. I don't need to add much, but I originally was like, which one of these backs am I gonna put down? And I originally I started writing Najee, and then I was like, no, Warren's he's a great running back. Like they're gonna involve him, and he's just known for those burst, those big plays. It's like those are coming this game. And then I went back on Najee, and I'm like, Najee's gonna have a
good,
game
man.
too, and just put it in from
Najee,
a volume standpoint. He's gonna have a touchdown. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, last week 100 yards on the ground with a touchdown. He's been a top 15 running back in 3 of the last 4 weeks. He's been really good lately. So, it's what's there not to like about that Pittsburgh run game right now? As painful as that is to say about Pittsburgh Steelers.
I love that. Outstanding. My other one is ETN. Talked about how are the Bengals a dead team earlier, and the Jaguars kind of riding the ship at home on Monday Night Football. I think ETN has to be a part of that. He still looks good, but he's been a little quiet. I think they know that they're at their best when ETN is running well. So, this offense has a few weeks here to put things together. We're on away with that division, get Zay Jones back in the offense, which has seemingly opened up Ridley, and then get ETN just ready for a potential playoff run. So I like ETN just from a team philosophy standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I got ETN in a lot of leagues, so I'm hoping you're right. Right.
ETN will be eating.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. That was very good. Shane, you got any other ones? Or are we all set?
No, that was it.
Okay. All right. Let's jump over to red light wide receivers. I got a few this week, and they're all ranked inside the top 24. So they're all ranked as wide receiver 2s this week, and I don't like any one of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the obvious ones is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp ranked 21 going into this week. Taking on Cleveland defense. We all know about this Cleveland defense is absolutely insane, giving up the fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. Well, Cooper Kupp is dealing with a pair of ankle injuries, and he's playing through them, both ankles. And he's just been terrible. His best finish in the last 5 games has been wide receiver 49. His best finish.
Yep.
So you can't trust Cooper Kupp as hard as that is. So he's on top of my list.
I got Puka Nup as well.
Puka Nup. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's a trifecta.
Boom shakalaka. Let's go.
Bam!
Yeah, it just makes sense. Just makes a ton of sense.
I'm benching him in one league I have. Hey man, I'm benching him for. I've got Nico Collins in over him. I've got Michael Pittman in over him, and I'm gonna put.
That's 2 guarantees.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put DK Metcalf over him. So.
Well, good thing you bring up DK Metcalf because he is another guy on my list I don't like this week. Ranked as wide receiver 22. Sorry to do that to you, Shane.
Nope.
Taking on Dallas. We know about this Dallas defense. You talk about them playing at home. They are just completely dogs over there. And DK finished inside the top 15 twice in 10 games. 8 of those games, he's been outside the top 15. Wide receiver 70 last week. Dallas ranks 2nd against the pass. It's no secret. This is going to be a tough matchup. I don't think Geno Smith plays a good game, and that goes along with DK Metcalf. I'm worried about him this week.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't put him on there and I've got him in over Kupp is Dallas does struggle against bigger, more physical wide receivers. So Stephon Gilmore struggles against them. Deron Bland had great success with him. When like AJ Brown got him in the first game, I think he could get. I think I could see him with like a 10, 11 point PPR game, and for me, that's going to be better than what Cup gets.
Don't get me wrong. I would definitely play DK over Cup.
Yeah.
But I just, out of the top 24 wide receivers, DK is definitely on my list of players I don't like this week.
Yep.
Coles, what do you got?
Drake London.
Okay. Got any analysis there? You just don't like him?
Oh, the Jets. That's right.
At Jets. Ritter is confirmed not good.
Yes.
He is confirmed terrible. Yes. That is that's tough. That's a tough spot.
And
sure.
Drake London's like a guy that you look at now, you're like, he's gotten his. I don't know what exactly he had last week. I think he either scored or had a 100-yard game. I know it was a respectable game.
He did have a decent game.
Let's see. Last week he had 5 for 91, like 14.1 PPR points. You're probably pretty happy about that. Out of him just from the type of year he's having. So, he's a guy you're looking at. Do I start him this week? This would be one that I would not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was contention from mine, but I already have 3 receivers on my list, so I didn't want to add any more.
You don't want to start doing 8 to 12
top 10 wide receivers I hate for the week. Yeah. No, I don't. No, Shane, what else you got for us?
So I'm going ties in with my Jordan Love pick, and I'm going Christian Watson. So he's coming off his best game of the year, 20 PPR points. But man, there's just a lot of stuff I don't like about him this week. The Chiefs are really good against the pass. They've allowed like the 7th or 8th fewest fantasy points to receivers. But the other sneaky thing is that people probably aren't going to think about is last week when he had that really good week. That was when they were also without Dontavian Wicks, who people don't think that's much of a thing, but he was consistently getting like 4 or 5 targets, 3 or 4 catches a game. And so now you're looking at, maybe 5 less targets for Watson in a game that's not a great matchup to begin with.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. He's like fool's gold right now where you want to play him after his best week, and then it's not good. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, yeah, that makes sense.
I can't wait till Shane O'Mac green lights Amari Cooper after Joe Flacco gets the starting nod.
That's going to be soon, huh?
I think so.
I think so it is soon. I think so, too. We're going to see footsteps Flacco back in action.
Yep.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, Coles, what else you got?
Sorry, I think I'm good. I had Puka Nup and Drake London.
Okay. My last wide receiver that I don't like this week is the highest ranked between Cup, DK, and this third guy is DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins, wide receiver 18, ranked on the week for week 13 versus Indianapolis. He's finished inside the top 27 once in the last 4 games, and that was wide receiver 18 in week 11. Indianapolis is kind of middle of the road, not very good, not very bad. But I think, if it's not a good matchup, I'm not playing Hopkins. And that's kind of where I'm at with him.
I don't think he has topped more than 3 or 4 catches in his last, since the Atlanta game, his last 5 games. I don't think he's even been over 3 to 4 catches.
No, it's been terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. So, yeah, he's another player I wanted to highlight because he's ranked way too high.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would have never guessed that was the ranking for him this week.
Yeah.
Did you guys lose me there?
No,
I did. Did you try to say something? Because I didn't hear anything.
My internet all cut out for a second, but apparently I'm back.
You're back.
Okay. Oh, you're good.
We're back. I didn't know who we were talking about, but
I was just saying I don't like DeAndre Hopkins. He's my last. That's the last wide receiver I wanted to highlight for red light.
Oh, so you did had 5.
No, I had 3. Cooper Kupp,
4,
DK, and
London.
Huh?
Puka Nup, DK, London.
Kupp. I didn't red light Puka. I didn't red light London.
Yeah. Well, we're doing it now. You have 5. I'm not the only weird one that does that.
All right. Well, let's jump over to a green light. Coles, why don't you start us off with
Jalen Tolbert?
No way. No
I was about
way.
to hit the shocker of the week.
Right.
Jalen Tolbert. I do love him. Am I starting him? No.
Wait, is this a legitimate green light?
I love Jalen Tolbert. I've been
I thought you were joking.
It's a green light in that.
Okay, if this is a real true green light, I am bequeathing the Shane O'Mac shocker of the pick this week to Kulz.
Shane O'Mac, shocker of the week.
Take it away, Kulz.
Jalen Tolbert. I genuinely love Jalen Tolbert. I think he's gotten 5 targets, 3 out of his last 4 games. Last week he only had 2, but he did catch one for 31 yards. I think he's going to have a big touchdown. Dak clearly likes him. Like, he's a reliable receiver. To me, he's growing in that offense. His role is going to get better. Adding another weapon to the offense is exactly what a team like the Cowboys need to be and are doing right now. They're looking for ways to compete with the 2 big dogs, Eagles and Niners. And if they can have someone rise up in their offense like Tolbert, he's a reliable receiver that has big playability. So I just think he's going to score a touchdown this week. And because of that, I have him on my list because, I'm not going to start him over some of the guys we've talked about, or I have even a Brandon Cooks. Like, I have him in the league, and I don't think I'm starting Cooks this week, but I wouldn't start Tolbert necessarily over Cooks, but I could expect Cooks-like numbers. I think he had 4 for 72 and a touchdown last week. I could see that being Tolbert, him on the receiving end of that way this week. I've been just waiting to see him score a touchdown, and my intuition tells me it's this week.
Okay, Roadies, if this pick hits, if this Kulz shocker pick of the week hits, if he is a top 24 wide receiver at the end of this week, I will be mailing Kulz a Dallas Cowboys hat to wear for a future podcast if this pick hits. You can lock this in right now. That is my promise to everyone.
I am extremely happy. I could low-key be a Cowboys fan. I am a Texans supporter as of this moment, but if I am the whisperer and Dak continues to have 400-yard games and 4 touchdowns, and Tolbert ends up with 100+ and a touchdown this week, sometimes the fantasy gods show you who you're a fan of. And, I was talking to Truck. Truck told me today, he goes, hey, Neighbors, I've seen on multiple draft boards that Neighbors is going to the Bengals. And I'm like, okay, so how do I not become a Bengals fan if they have Burrow, Chase, and Neighbors?
I love it. I love it.
So anyways, that's Tolbert, shocker of the week. I like what I see from him. He's a good receiver, and we're going to all see that on Thursday night.
Yeah. Okay. Shane, what do you got? How do you follow that up?
I don't know. That just leaves me speechless almost.
I loved your reaction to it. It was laughing, and I doubled down, and you were like, wait, you're serious? And then it was pure shock. The shocker of the week, the author of the shocker of the weeks just was shocked.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I am going with Calvin Ridley Monday night against the Bengals, and there is just sometimes you have to just pay attention to the data and the trend that is presented to you, even in fantasy football. And the simple fact is when Zay Jones plays for the Jaguars, Calvin Ridley is good for fantasy. There's only been 1 out of the 5 games where Jones has played where Ridley has not had 20 or more fantasy points. So, and last week, he started off that first game, the first half of last week, I think he didn't have a single catch. And then the second half, they moved him around. They put him in the slot and they moved him around. And that's when he exploded. So I think they do more of that this week where they move him around, put him in the slot, and he ends up another big game.
Yeah. Is Zay Jones active?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then Calvin Ridley is going to have a good game, right?
Yeah.
It's just been the trend.
Yep.
And I don't think that ends anytime soon. So, yeah, I can get behind that. One guy I like to highlight is Devonta Smith for the Eagles. I like another player in this matchup that I'm going to highlight. I like Devonta Smith. The 49ers are a good defense, but surprisingly, they're giving up, more than a few fantasy points per game to wide receivers. They're in the bottom 12 when it comes to that. So, and Devontae's been hot lately. The last 4 weeks, he's been doing really good. 100 yards back-to-back games. 3 of those 4 weeks, he scored a touchdown and been a top 15 guy. He's been trending in the right direction. The focus is on A.J. Brown because he is the better wide receiver, but when that happens, Devonta comes through, and I think this is another game that happens. They're going to need him if the Eagles want to win this game at home. So I think we see a big game from Smith.
I hope so. I love that.
Yeah. And what is his production correlated with? It's been with Dallas Goedert out. Like there's a direct correlation.
Yeah, last year as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Kulz, what else you got?
This is more so I would like to speak it into his existence.
Manifest.
Even
your manifest pick of the week.
I'm manifesting Tolbert for sure, but another one I'm manifesting is Mike Evans. I love Mike Evans, like I always have. I think he's first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he's having arguably one of his better years in a year that he's trying to get paid. I love everything about Evans. He's a true professional. He makes bad quarterbacks look really good. He's doing that again this season. And I think we're going to just see, a big game out of him against a dead team who's, if you're the Panthers, you're just the thing that's so crazy to me is the Panthers are so bad that they don't lose and benefit from winning games and they still can't win games. Like it's not like they're one of these tanking teams. They're not tanking. They have no incentive to tank. And they just can't seem to win. They're just bad. Evans at home chasing that, 1,000 game. What is it? 9-10 straight at this point. It would be 10 straight 1,000-yard game. What a achievement. I'm not going to say he breaks it in this game because that would be so bold, but I'm not saying he does not break it in this game. At home.
Yeah, I like that.
150 is what he needs.
Ooh, yeah, he could do that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking on the Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? To make this the Mike's manifestation of the week, we're going to have to just go bold and say he gets 150 yards, gets his 10th straight 1,000th yard game at home against the Panthers. Let's do it at home, Big Mike.
I love that. Might be something we do now, Mike's manifestation.
Yeah, look, because their next 2 games are on the road, so they want him to get that at home.
That's very true.
You know why they want him to get it at home? Because they want the fans to appreciate him and him have a very sentimental, emotional moment at home in Tampa. Because I press it at the same time as you. Because they want Mike Evans back. They want him to take a team-friendly-ish type deal. Realize that this is home and he doesn't want to play for anyone else because his legacy means something here in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. We'll see if he comes back next year. I think he will, but yeah.
Well,
no, I can get behind that.
They're at odds right now. So what he wants currently is not what they're willing to give. So, I like that. That was a really good conspiracy.
That was. Can you
Thanks
imagine
for looking
Mike
that
Evans?
up, Shana Mac. You just that was huge.
Can we play hypothetical? Can you guys imagine Mike Evans on the Chiefs?
Ooh, yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nuts.
And Hopkins,
absolutely bananas. And Hopkins too. Let's just play. Let's play hypothetical. It's
and
awesome.
Julio Jones.
Yeah, I love hypothetical. I don't know about Julio, but yeah, I get that.
And
all right.
Kyle Pitts.
Yes. Throw them all in there. Give them all to the Chiefs. Let's see what happens. Excuse me. My next 2 wide receivers I want to highlight for green light. It's in the same matchup. It's my sneaky best matchup of the week. Second best game of the week outside of that Philly and San Francisco game. It's the Denver Broncos taking on the Houston Texans.
Oh God, I thought you were gonna
love-
say the Panthers Bucks was the second best. I was like,
No,
sneaky
no.
bet. Like, what are we
the Texans and Broncos, sneaky.
Okay.
Great game of the week. I cannot wait to watch this game. And the two guys I want to highlight are opposite sides of the ball. I love Tank Dell this week, and I love Cortland Sutton.
I have Sutton as well.
I love that. Yeah, Sutton. I mean, dude, he snapped. It was such a shame last week. He snapped his 5-game touchdown streak. Almost caught a touchdown in the corner.
He almost had one. Yeah.
Yeah, almost had one. And I think
that was his fault too. His feet. He got his feet mixed up. It was a really weird.
That
was his fault. He should have caught that. Which we haven't seen. We haven't seen much of him this year. Like blunder what should be a touchdown. But
yeah, but Sutton, I think he scores another touchdown this week. He's going to be heavily targeted in this game. And on the other side of the ball, Tank Dell has just been an animal. Last week was a down week, but still inside the top 24. 5 touchdowns in the last 4 games. He's been a wide receiver 1 in 3 of the last 4 games, averaging over 10 targets a game. He's going to be heavily targeted. You see it every week. This guy is so talented. He's able to have the body control to keep his feet in bounds. I know Denver Broncos have been better lately, but I think his talent can overcome that, especially with 10 targets. I think Tank Dell's a lock.
Yeah, and I think you'll see Patrick Surtain lock up on Nico. I don't think he's going to be following Tank Dell around. So,
great point. Yeah. Great point. So, that's those are my 3 wide receivers I like this week. So, do we have any more? Do we want to move on?
My second guy is so I think Michael Pittman's an automatic start no matter what, but I'm going with the other receiver on the Colts, and that's Josh Downs against the Titans. I'm not focused less on the 9 PPR points he had last week and on, I think I talked about it on a previous show, but focus on the 13 targets he got in that game last week. And then week 5 this year when they played, he went for I think it was 9 catches and 80 or 90 yards. He was a top 20 wide receiver in that game. And before last week, the Titans were giving up, I think, 5 or 6 receiving touchdowns in their previous 3 games. They didn't, obviously facing the Panthers, you take that out of the equation, but it's not a great pass defense they've got there.
No, not at all. Shane, was this going to be your shocker of the week?
I don't have a shocker. There's no.
Oh, okay.
No. There potentially was one, but that got quickly erased in the middle of this episode. There is no shocker pick that could have even come close to that.
Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we can move on. Kulz, did you have anything there to add or no?
No, I had Sutton was my final green light.
Okay.
Tolbert, shocker of the week, Sutton, and why am I blanking on my last one? Can someone help me out? Do you remember? Oh, Evans, of course.
Evans, yeah. Your manifestation of the week.
Manifestation,
yeah. I love it. All right, let's jump over to red light tight ends for Shane and I. And I'll go ahead and kick it off. He is the tight end 8 for week 13. It's Jake Ferguson. After his down couple weeks, I'm just not into it. If I have the ability, I'm sitting him. I just don't like him this week. Seattle is allowing the 5th fewest points to tight ends. And, he's finished outside the top 20 in back-to-back weeks. I'd just be very worried rolling out with Ferguson as my tight end.
Yeah, I like that because as the season goes on, they're getting a little bit more comfortable with their rookie pick out from Michigan, Schoonmaker, and they're starting to work him in a little bit more. So I think you start to see
Brandon Cooks too has been active very, very much recently. So and Tolbert too.
And Jalen Tolbert,
yeah, of course. So Shane, who do you got for your red light tight end?
I am going to tell everyone to sit the guy who was tight end 2 last week.
Oh my
who was
God.
a Cole Whisperer tight end, and that's Tyler Higbee.
Okay.
So I just think that he's going up 2 things. He's going up against the Browns, which they allow. It's either the fewest or second fewest points to tight ends this year. I can't remember. But I just have a feeling, there's not going to be a ton of scoring opportunities. But if they get down inside the 10, I think they try to work in. It's going to be more Kyron, or they try to give Nakua some chances there. I just don't see Higbee getting 2 red zone touchdowns again, which is what you kind of bank on for him.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be interesting. with the struggling Cooper Kupp and Puka. So that's a tough matchup. So I get that 100%. Kulz, why don't you go ahead and tell us your top 10 tight ends of the week?
No, I only have 5. I feel like it's irresponsible to list off 12.
You don't say.
I do have 5. And they're 5 that may shock you guys a little bit.
Whoa.
I have
let's hear 'em.
Logan Thomas.
Okay.
That's a bit shocking.
Freiermuth.
Yep.
Not as much shocking.
Tyler Conklin.
That is shocking.
That is shocking.
Chig Okonkwo.
Whoa,
Another shocking one. Okay.
Oh.
And Evan Ingram. And then, of course, Dalton.
You're digging
Dalton
deep
Kincaid.
over here.
Of course, Dalton Kincaid, even though it's
Of
not
course.
a bye. But
yeah.
I like Chig. He had 4 catches for 45 yards last week. Like he's at least being found by Will Levis. So I just like that. I can't decide yet if I think it's going to be a high scoring game or it's going to be like a grinded out on the ground game. But regardless, Levis has shown that he can make certain throws. He's not. I think what we started to see is why he was a second rounder. There's a lot of holes in his game, but he is a gunslinger. He does, he does throw the ball and can make good throws. So there's a lot of work for him to put it all together. But point being, he's someone that if this is one of those Vrabel classic tight and grinded out home dog wins, it's going to be Henry again on the ground, playing smash mouth football, and then that open up some passes. I could see Chig scoring here, having classic 560 for a touchdown tight end game that we all look for, something like that where you'd be very happy with. So I love that. That's I'd say Chig is my most shocking but confident pick. Because you heard how much I didn't like him to start the season, and he's been quiet.
Yeah.
But
do you remember the old Chigosium Unquosium?
Chigosium Unquosium. Oh yeah,
we pulled that out for our best ball drafts when we didn't want people to draft people. We were looking at it just Chigosium Unquosium.
Yeah,
trying to get people not. That was silly. So
I love it.
Fun.
Thompson, Muth, Conklin, Chig, Evan Ingram. That's what I got.
Yeah, Kulz, deep cuts over there for your green light tight ends. I like it.
That is.
All right, Shane, who do you have for your green light tight end of the week?
I really had. I was down. There was 2 guys I was trying to decide between. So I've ended up going with a guy who only had 1 catch last week, and that is Dalton Schultz. I just feel that is an outlier. I don't know what happened in that game that he only had 1 catch. I really don't. But this is like the Broncos are the worst team giving up fantasy points to tight ends. I think this is a bounce back week. But this is kind of like my green light 1A pick, and I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me decide. One of those New Orleans Saints tight ends, Taysom Hill or Juwan, is going to have a good week with the lack of receiving options they're going to have in this game.
Yeah, we both said it. I think it would be Juwan. But yeah, somebody's got to step up for that Saints team. And it's probably going to be Juwan. So, but yeah, I have Schultz on my list as well. He's my green light.
Juwan. Just make sure you call him Juwan, not Juwan.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Yes, Dalton Schultz is my tight end of the week this week, taking on Denver. You talked about a terrible game last week, but prior to that, 3 games he's finished inside the top 10, including a number 1 tight end finish in week 9. Last week we saw that Denver team taking on Cleveland, and Njoku was the leading receiver for Cleveland. And then in week 10, Kincaid had a tight end 4 finish. So they're giving up a lot of points at tight ends. And I think Schultz bounces back this week. Big bounce back week for Schultz.
Gosh, that was so close to being another trifecta, but not.
Shame. Could have ended it on a trifecta. That would have been nice.
Yeah, but we had a lot. This is by far our most trifectas, so I'm glad we didn't have one in every fucking category.
Yeah, fair enough.
Most shockingly, tight ends, because I have quite a few every week.
Quite a few. Yeah, you do.
You're the Oprah of tight ends. You get a tight end. You get a tight end. You get a tight end.
Love it. Well, yeah, that was an awesome episode. Week 13. I think we're done, right?
Yeah.
So this is a huge week. This is, second to last week, maybe last week of the regular season in some leagues. This is the time where you probably know if you're a playoff team or not. I don't know what else to say, really. It's like I am starting to stash defenses. I wish we talked about that in this episode, but we'll do that. Let's do that for matchups. Well, I guess it'll be too late. Twitter. Go to Twitter. Truck, you try to do some as well. I know Shane O'Mac's awesome on Twitter. I'm trying to get better. I'm really not that good. I'm better at like commenting on people's than actually producing content. But let's each put out a couple, maybe 3 defenses look to stream this week. I think you could probably. Yeah, I don't want to just fire them off right now. I probably could have just picked a couple out, but I want to actually look into this and 3 defenses that you would look towards in the next couple weeks as having good matchups.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I think that would be very beneficial for the roadies, and that, pushes people to our Twitter. I think it's a good, important thing that I'm starting to do is some of these guys where, we're through the bye weeks, especially after this week, there's going to be some roster spots opening. So maybe we don't do that on Twitter. Let's talk about it on waivers or something early next week, because week 13 bye will put some, give us some space on our benches. You know what I mean? That can be filled with an additional defense. So
yeah,
let's do that for like maybe waiver of next week. Who can we add? What defenses can we add on our bench? It's 4:30. I'm talking too long.
It's all right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching and listening. You guys are the best. Make sure you go to rule1proteins.com, enter promo code ROADIES40 at checkout to get 40% off. That's rule1proteins.com. Go check them out. You won't be disappointed. And other than that, tune in later on in the week. We'll be doing a lot more stuff. So follow us on Twitter. All of our tags here. Other than that, everybody buckle up.
Sunday morning stream?
Yes.
Starts at
10 a.m. East or
10
Central
a.m.
Standard Time.
10 a.m.
Let's do it. We might even have a brick showing.
No way.
Probably not, but I can try to convince him.
Don't tease the brick appearance.
I can try to convince him.
Okay.
He'll be in Austin.
Please do. Okay. I think we're going live for tomorrow, Kulz, or no?
Sure. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Thursday. What's the Thursday game? Do you guys know?
It's the Jalen Tolbert game.
Oh, of course. We're going live, baby. We'll be live for that Cowboys game Thursday night. Tune in at at youtube.com/fantasy roadshow. You guys are the best. Everybody buckle up.